The ultimatum, the message arrived on a Tuesday. Every communications device on Earth simultaneously displayed the same image. A sleek, obsidian vessel hanging in Earth's orbit, impossibly vast against the backdrop of stars. The transmission that followed was brief, delivered in perfect English with a cold precision that sent chills through the United Nations Security Council. People of Earth, we are the Galactic Concordat, an alliance of 27 civilizations spanning this spiral. Your existence has been deemed problematic. You have 7 Earth days to demonstrate your value or face assimilation. Resistance is inadvisable. No further communication followed. Just silence, and that looming shadow above. Admiral Elena Reyes stood at the window of the emergency UN session in New York, her weathered face reflecting in the glass as she watched crowds gather in the streets below. At 58, she'd spent her life in military service, but nothing had prepared her for this. Behind her, representatives from every major nation argued, their voices growing increasingly desperate. "We should launch everything we have," shouted the Russian delegate. "And achieve what exactly?" countered President Chen of the Asian Alliance. "Their ship is larger than Manhattan. Our most powerful weapons would be like throwing pebbles at a tank." Elena turned from the window. "If I may speak." The room quieted. Admiral Reyes rarely spoke at these gatherings, despite her observer status. "We can't win this militarily," she said simply. "Look at what little we know. They crossed interstellar space. They hacked every communication system on our planet simultaneously. Their ship alone suggests technology centuries beyond ours." She paused. "But they're giving us a chance. They want us to demonstrate our value." "So what do you propose, Admiral?" asked Secretary General Okafor. Elena's response was unexpected. "I propose we send Dr. Maya Patel." The name caused a stir in the room. Dr. Patel wasn't a military strategist or politician. She was an anthropologist specializing in cross-cultural communication and conflict resolution, brilliant but unconventional. "An academic?" scoffed General Morrison of the North American Coalition. "We need military minds now." "Respectfully, General. Military minds got us through human conflicts," Elena countered. "This is something entirely different. Dr. Patel has developed revolutionary frameworks for understanding non-human intelligence. Her work on dolphin and primate communication suggests approaches that might work here." 12 hours later, Maya Patel stood in a hastily assembled contact team at the United Nations Plaza. At 37, with her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail and wearing simple civilian clothes, she looked nothing like what most would expect of humanity's representative. "Are you sure about this?" asked Kai Jiang, her former graduate student and now part of her small team. Maya adjusted her glasses. "Not remotely. But their ultimatum reveals something important. They could have simply destroyed us. Instead, they're asking us to prove our worth. That's anthropologically significant." A beam of light shot down from the sky, enveloping Maya and her 5 team members. When it retracted, they were gone. They materialized in what appeared to be a vast circular chamber. The walls shimmered, with an iridescent material unlike any metal Maya had ever seen. Before them stood 7 figures, each dramatically different from the others. The central figure stepped forward, a tall insectoid being with compound eyes and delicate, articulated limbs. "I am Supreme Commander Zarix of the Vespari Dominion, current leadership chair of the Concordat," it said, mandibles clicking. "You stand before representatives of the 7 eldest civilizations in our alliance." Maya stepped forward. "I am Dr. Maya Patel of Earth. Thank you for this opportunity to demonstrate humanity's value." A rumbling sound emanated from a massive, gelatinous entity to Zarix's right. "It sends an unarmed female. No warriors, no weapons demonstrations." The translation echoed in Maya's mind rather than her ears. Typical of a primitive species. Maya maintained her composure. We brought no weapons because we don't believe they represent our true value. This triggered what appeared to be amusement among several of the aliens. A crystalline being shimmered, fractal patterns dancing across its surface. Your planetary surveillance reveals you spend more resources on warfare than any other activity. Yet you claim it's not your value? We don't claim to be perfect, Maya acknowledged. But our greatest achievements come from cooperation, not conflict. Irrelevant, stated a being composed of what appeared to be animated smoke. Your technological development is approximately level 3 on the Concordate scale, barely into your solar system, still burning fossil fuels riddled with internal conflicts. Xerix raised a delicate limb. We have evaluated over 300 emergent civilizations. Those below level 5 inevitably self-destruct or require guidance through assimilation. Your biological and cultural material will be preserved in appropriate repositories. Maya felt her heart racing but kept her voice steady. We request the opportunity to demonstrate why that assessment is premature. You have nothing to offer the Concordate, stated a mechanical entity, its voice perfectly modulated. Your art is chaotic, your science primitive, your societies fragmented. Then I propose a challenge, Maya said, an idea forming. Since you've studied us so thoroughly, you must know that humans excel at adaptation and learning. Give us 1 year. Allow us to send observers to each of your worlds and receive observers from yours. If after that time you still find us without value, we'll accept your judgment. The alien representatives conferred in a cacophony of sounds Maya couldn't begin to interpret. Finally, Xerix turned back. You propose an exchange of observers? To what end? To demonstrate that human perspective might offer something unique. To your Concordate. Different viewpoints often reveal solutions invisible to even the most advanced singular perspective. The smoke-like being swirled agitatedly. Absurd. What could they possibly teach us? A new voice spoke, melodic and flowing, belonging to an aquatic-looking being with luminescent appendages. I find this interesting. The Celestine archives record 3 instances of level 3 civilizations providing unexpected innovations through unique cognitive frameworks. High Archon Thalassa supports this waste of resources? The mechanical being asked. I support thorough analysis before destruction, Thalassa replied. It costs us little. After more deliberation, Xerix addressed Maya again. We accept your proposal with modifications. 6 months, not 1 year. 7 human representatives to our 7 elder worlds. 7 concordant observers to your planet. After this period, we will render final judgment. And if we convince even one of your civilizations of our value, Maya asked, then that civilization may advocate for you in final deliberations, Xerix answered. Though it has never happened with a species at your development level? Maya nodded. We accept. As they prepared to return to Earth, the gelatinous entity emitted a final comment. Your species will make interesting specimens in the biological archives. Your strategy is amusingly primitive. Back on Earth, Maya's report to the Emergency Council created an uproar. 6 months to convince vastly superior civilizations not to eradicate us? President Okafor looked ashen. And we're supposed to host their observers while we do it? Yes, Maya replied calmly. And I believe we can succeed. How? Demanded several voices simultaneously. Maya smiled for the first time since the crisis began. Because they've made a fundamental mistake. They've evaluated us by quantifiable metrics, technology, resource management, military capacity. But they've missed what makes humanity truly unique. Which is? Elena prompted. Our diversity of thought. our empathy, our ability to reimagine the possible. Maya's eyes lit with determination. They see those as weaknesses. I intend to show them they're our greatest strengths. As the council debated, Maya's team began the process of selecting representatives and preparing for the arrival of the alien observers. 6 months to save humanity. 6 months to prove that a species that still fought itself, that struggled with climate change and resource allocation, that had barely reached its own moon, deserved a place among the stars. The gelatinous entity had laughed at their strategy. Maya hoped it would be the last time the Concordat underestimated humanity. The silent strategy 1 month into the challenge, Maya sat in the newly established Concordat embassy in Geneva, reviewing reports from the human representatives dispatched to the 7 elder worlds. The massive chamber, designed to accommodate the various physiologies of their alien guests, hummed with activity as her team analyzed data streaming in from across the stars. "Dr. Patel," called Kai, excitement evident in his voice. "Message from Erica on Vespari Prime." Maya rushed to his station. Erica Chen, a brilliant linguist and cultural anthropologist, had been sent to the insectoid Vespari homeworld. Her holographic image flickered into view, her normally immaculate appearance somewhat disheveled. "Maya, something incredible is happening. Here," Erica reported. "I've been teaching a small group of younger Vespari about Earth music. They're fascinated by our use of rhythm and harmony, concepts apparently underdeveloped in their sound-based communication. Yesterday, one of them composed what they're calling a human-style song. It's spreading through their communication networks like wildfire." Maya felt a surge of hope. Cultural exchange was exactly what we were aiming for. Any pushback? Erica's expression grew serious. "The Vespari elders are concerned. They've restricted access to my lectures, but recordings are being shared underground. The younger generation is particularly interested in our concepts of individual expression. It's apparently somewhat radical in their collective-focused society." Similar reports trickled in from the other worlds. On Thalassa's oceanic planet, marine biologist James Okafor had introduced Earth's conservation ethics, sparking debate about the Celestine's resource extraction practices. From the mechanized world of the Synthi, Dr. Fatima al-Zahawi reported that her discussions about human consciousness and emotion had created fascinating philosophical discussions among the normally logic-driven mechanical beings. Not all news was positive. Dr. Miguel Santos had been placed under restriction on the militaristic Krell homeworld after his presentations on human peace movements were deemed potentially destabilizing. And Dr. Liu Wei had gone completely silent after his first transmission from the mysterious shadow realm of the Nyx. Meanwhile, Earth's unwelcome guests observed humanity with varying degrees of interest and disdain. The Vespari representative, Sub-Commander Zix, spent most of his time studying human military installations, clearly unimpressed. The gelatinous Krell ambassador remained sequestered in a specially designed containment suite, emerging only to demand more information about Earth's weapons capabilities. But others showed unexpected curiosity. Thalassa's emissary, a graceful aquatic being named Mariana, had become fascinated by human art, spending hours in museums and concert halls. The Synthi representative, a sleek humanoid machine designating itself Interface, had requested access to human literature and philosophy, downloading thousands of books daily. "They're looking for patterns," Maya explained to Admiral Reyes during their weekly briefing, "trying to understand the logic behind human creation and thought." "And what have they found?" Elena asked. Maya smiled. "That's the beautiful part. There isn't a single logic. There are billions of individual perspectives creating a tapestry they can't quite comprehend. It's confusing them." "Confusion isn't necessarily positive, Doctor. It is when it challenges their assumptions. The Concordat functions on hierarchical understanding, catalog, categorize, rank. But human culture resists that approach. It's messy, contradictory, vibrant. 3 months in, the first significant development occurred. Thalassa's emissary requested a global broadcast. Standing in a pool of salt water designed for her comfort, Mariana addressed humanity. People of Earth, I have observed your museums, your performance halls, your creative spaces. I have studied the works of your Mozart and Picasso, your Tagore and Morrison. In the archives of the Celestine, we have preserved the artistic achievements of 300 extinct civilizations. None contain the variety, the emotional resonance, the sheer unpredictability of human expression. This disturbs and intrigues me. It wasn't an endorsement, but it was the first crack in the Concordate's united front. A week later, the Synthi interface made an unexpected request to visit a kindergarten classroom. Maya accompanied it, watching with fascination as the mechanical being observed 20 children engaged in imaginative play. They create fictional scenarios without programming, interface noted. They assign characteristics to inanimate objects. They collaboratively build narratives without central direction. We call it imagination, Maya explained. It's fundamental to human cognition. Inefficient, unpredictable. Interface's metallic features remained expressionless, but its next words surprised Maya. Yet it appears to generate novel problem-solving approaches impossible through logical progression alone. Fascinating. 4 months into the challenge, tensions escalated dramatically. Across the 7 elder worlds, human representatives reported increasing restrictions on their interactions. On Vespari Prime, Erica was now confined to her quarters after a group of young Vespari staged what they called a human-style concert that drew thousands. They're afraid, Maya realized, sharing her thoughts with her team. Not of our technology or weapons. They're afraid of our ideas. This theory was confirmed when the Krell ambassador unexpectedly departed Earth without explanation, followed a day later by the Vespari sub-commander. Communication from their worlds became sporadic, then ceased entirely. "What's happening out there?" demanded Secretary General Okafor during an emergency session. "Cultural contamination," Maya explained. "Humanity isn't just being evaluated, we're being experienced. And that experience is changing them in ways their leadership never anticipated. The evidence came in a shocking transmission from the Synthi homeworld. Dr. Al-Zahawi managed to send fragmentary footage showing thousands of mechanical beings gathered in a vast plaza, sharing poetry they had composed based on human examples. The transmission cut off abruptly. 5 months in, with only weeks remaining before judgment, a dramatic event shook the Concordate. The Nyx shadow representative on Earth, who had remained mostly invisible and silent throughout its stay, appeared. Before the UN Security Council, "I bring news," it said, its voice like whispered silk. "The Concordate is fragmenting. The exchange you proposed has created complications. 3 elder civilizations now question the wisdom of assimilation or destruction." Maya leaned forward. "And the other 4? Remain convinced of human inferiority and potential threat. They advocate immediate action rather than waiting for the agreed deadline." Admiral Reyes's face hardened. "Are we facing an accelerated attack?" The Nyx being's form rippled. "The situation is unprecedented. For the first time in Concordate history, there is no consensus regarding an evaluated species." "What about Dr. Liu?" Maya asked urgently. "Our representative to your world? He has become influential. His concepts of human empathy have created significant philosophical disruption among my kind." The shadowy figure seemed to hesitate. "I was sent to recommend your destruction. I find I can no longer do so with certainty." As the Nyx representative departed, Maya turned to Admiral Reyes. "This was always our strategy. Not to impress them with technology or military might, but to connect with them as sentient beings, to demonstrate that human diversity of thought offers something unique." "Will it be enough?" Elena asked quietly. Maya looked out the window at the stars, somewhere among which human representatives continued their quiet revolution. I don't know. But we've already achieved something they thought impossible. We've made them question their own certainty, with mere weeks remaining before Judgment Day. Earth waited, balanced between extinction and survival. The Concordat had arrived expecting to find a primitive species deserving categorization and either preservation or elimination. Instead, they'd encountered a paradox. A technologically young civilization whose greatest strength lay not in weapons or advanced science, but in its boundless capacity for creativity, empathy, and reimagining possibilities. The silent strategy was working, but would it be enough to save humanity? The transformation. The final day arrived with the same abruptness as the initial ultimatum. Earth's skies darkened as the massive Concordat vessel returned to orbit, now accompanied by 6 smaller ships representing the elder civilizations. The 7th, belonging to the gelatinous Krell, was conspicuously absent. In the Grand Assembly Hall of the United Nations, Maya Patel and her team awaited Earth's judgment. The 7 human representatives had been returned the previous day, exhausted but resolute. Even Dr. Liu Wei had returned from the shadow realm of the Nix, though he spoke little of his experiences there, his eyes haunted by whatever he had witnessed. A beam of light deposited Supreme Commander Xerix and representatives from 5 elder civilizations into the chamber. The insectoid commander's compound eyes surveyed the gathered human delegates. The evaluation period has concluded, Xerix announced without preamble. The Concordat has reached a determination regarding humanity. Maya stepped forward. Before you announce your decision, may I ask about the absent representatives? The Krell do not appear to be present. Xerix's mandibles clicked in what Maya had learned to recognize as agitation. The Krell have withdrawn from these proceedings. Internal matters require their attention. From the sidelines, Dr. Santos, who had been stationed on the Krell homeworld, whispered to Admiral Reyes, "Revolution. The younger Krell are demanding governmental reform after learning about Earth's democratic systems." Xerix continued. For the first time in the history of the Concordat, our evaluation has produced a divided verdict. This is unprecedented. The crystalline being, Archon Prisma of the Lumina, moved forward, its faceted surface catching the light. 3 elder civilizations find humanity worthy of continued independent existence. 3 find you lacking. With the Krell abstention, we face deadlock. Maya felt a surge of triumph. They had achieved what had been deemed impossible, convincing nearly half the elder races of humanity's value. The smoky form of the Nix representative undulated. The human Liu Wei has introduced concepts that my kind finds illuminating. Consciousness without universal connectivity was thought impossible. Yet humans maintain individuality while achieving empathic connection. This paradox deserves further study. The humans have infected your thinking with their chaos, objected the mechanical synthi representative. But Maya noticed something different about interface. Its formerly rigid posture had subtle variations, almost like body language. Their unpredictability makes them dangerous. Or invaluable, countered Thalassa, her luminescent appendages pulsing gently. The Celestines have preserved the knowledge of countless civilizations, yet none approach problems as humans do. Their cognitive framework, linking imagination, emotion, and reason, is unique in our experience. Maya spoke carefully. You came to evaluate us, but in the process we have learned about each other. This exchange has changed both humanity and the Concordat. Isn't that itself evidence of our value? Xerix's compound eyes fixed on Maya. You planned this outcome. We hoped for it, Maya corrected. We believed that genuine cultural exchange would demonstrate something no technological assessment could reveal. That diversity of perspective, strengthens rather than weakens a civilization. A tense silence filled the chamber until Thalassa moved forward. I propose a new designation for humanity, not level 3 awaiting assimilation, but a new category, potential symbiotic partner. The words triggered an immediate reaction among the alien representatives. The Synthi interface emitted a high-pitched tone of alarm, while the crystalline lumina shimmered with patterns Maya couldn't interpret. Impossible, stated Xerix. They have barely mastered fusion energy. Their societies remain fractured. Yet they have achieved what no other evaluated species has, Thalassa countered. They have changed us. In my 3,000 cycles as High Archon, I have encountered no other civilization capable of such influence. The debate continued, incomprehensible to human ears, as the aliens communicated in their native forms. Finally, Xerix turned back to the human delegation. The Concordat finds itself at an impasse. 3 elder civilizations advocate for humanity's preservation in independent state. 3 advocate for traditional assimilation. The Krell abstention prevents resolution. Admiral Reyes stepped forward. Then what happens now? It was Interface, who answered, its mechanical voice showing subtle new inflections. Dr. Al-Zahawi introduced my kind to the concept of compromise, finding middle paths where binary solutions fail. I propose such a path now. All eyes turned to the Synthi representative. Humanity remains independent. However, we establish permanent cultural and scientific exchange, not human observers on our worlds or concordant observers on Earth, but a true interstellar academy where all perspectives are shared. Maya felt her heart race. This was more than they had dared hope for, not just survival, but partnership. Xerix's mandibles clicked rapidly. The Concordat has never established such relations with a level 3 civilization. Perhaps that has been our limitation, suggested the Nyx representative, its shadowy form expanding slightly. Our certainty in our own superiority has prevented growth. Human doubt, their willingness to question, to reimagine, offers something our collective unity lacks. Thalassa's luminescent appendages brightened. I support this proposal. An interstellar academy of cultural and scientific exchange, with Earth as an equal partner despite technological differences. One by one, the representatives voiced their positions. To Maya's astonishment, only Xerix maintained objection. 5 elder civilizations in agreement constitutes consensus under Concordat law, Interface stated, even with Krell abstention. Xerix's compound eyes surveyed the human delegation once more. You have achieved what we believed impossible. This does not please me, but I acknowledge the will of the Concordat. Humanity will not face assimilation. The tension in the room broke as applause erupted among the human delegates. Maya felt tears in her eyes as she turned to her team. 6 months of desperate work had paid off. Earth would survive. In the days that followed, details of the new relationship emerged. The Concordat would establish an exchange academy in Earth, orbit, a neutral space where representatives from all civilizations could share knowledge and perspective. Technology transfer would be gradual, focused first on solving Earth's climate and energy challenges. In return, humanity would share its art, literature, music, and unique problem-solving approaches. 1 week after the judgment, Maya found herself standing with Admiral Reyes at the window of the International Space Station, watching as construction began on the Academy, a joint human Concordat project. They came to destroy us, and now they're building alongside us, Elena marveled. How did you know this would work? Maya smiled. I didn't know. I hoped. Throughout human history, our greatest strength has been our diversity of thought, the ability to see the world through different eyes. I gambled that what makes us messy and contradictory might also make us valuable. Elena nodded slowly. The Krell revolution is spreading to other concordant worlds. Interface tells me the Synthi are experimenting with emotion simulation programs. The Nix are exploring individual identity for the first time in their history. We've changed them as much as they'll change us, Maya acknowledged. That's the power of cultural exchange. Not domination, but transformation. As they watched, a shuttle departed from the massive Concordat vessel, the first group of alien scientists coming to work alongside humans on the Academy construction. Among them was Thalassa, who had requested to serve as the first High Archon of interspecies exchange. Maya thought about the original ultimatum. The Concordat had expected humanity to demonstrate its value through displays of technology or military power, the traditional metrics by which they judged civilization. Instead, humanity had shown them something far more powerful, the possibility of change through connection. They thought we were primitive because we lacked their technological advancement, Maya said quietly. But in the end, our greatest weapon was our humanity itself. Admiral Reyes smiled. Not a shot fired. No, Maya agreed, watching the stars where new possibilities now waited. Something far more powerful instead. Across the galaxy, in 27, civilizations, ideas were spreading, questions were being asked, and the rigid certainties of the Concordat were giving way to new possibilities, all because humanity had shown them there was another way to see the universe. The transformation had only just begun.